Hey friends and neighbors, 7th here. Sorry it's been a while. What can I say? They put me on third shift and it can change a lot of things. You'll remember a while back I made a video talking about how news for views whores were fucking up the gaming community. How everything was getting boring and saccharine and repetitious, and there needed to be more debate, there needed to be open discussion, that things needed to be a little more like they were back in the heyday when we all first really got into this community to begin with. And I meant it, and I still mean it. So if you'll remember, I made in that video a challenge asking pro Xbox guys to reach out to me for doing debate. Only one person responded to that, and he's a new guy to the community that really has no subscribers or anything. I sent him a message telling him that we could do debate and to hit me up on Twitter, and I haven't heard back from it. So that one's still up in the air. But in the time, I started looking around to see who was the new big Xbox guys. Because the guys that were around when all of this was in its heyday, like General MLD and Noxious BLD and all those folks, they're gone. They're not here anymore. And so I was looking around to see, who was considered sort of the authorities of Xbox in this current YouTube gaming community. And of course, Zaire came up, but Zaire doesn't want to debate with me. He has stated publicly on Twitter that he doesn't want to debate me, that he thinks I'm a psychopath. I have no idea why he would think that.
You shall all bow down before me.
But nevertheless, that's what he thinks. So that leaves me to look for other guys. Well, I got an email, not going to say who from, and it said, you really need to check out this guy that calls himself Crap. I said, Crap? I said, yeah, he calls himself Crap. Okay. And so I went and did a cursory scan of this individual's channel, and sure as the world, Crap is in his name. And I thought, Regardless, I reached out to this guy. I sent him the same email that I send to everybody that I debate with on YouTube, where I basically say, okay, let's do a debate. You and I can run it for several videos. We can build up a real fan following on both sides. Your fans will get into your end. My fans will get into my end. It'll generate a lot of interest in the community. People will get talking about it. They'll get to having their own debates about it. They'll make their own response videos about it, etc., etc. My only rule is you don't talk about family. Everything else goes. You can say whatever you want about me. I'll say whatever I want about you. We both know afterwards when the cameras go off that it's not to be taken personally, so we can still stay friendly behind the scenes. That's the way that I've done it with everybody. That's the way I did it with General MLD. That's the way that I did it with Fury Doughboy. That's the way that I did it with Super Brothers and Fat Gamer. That's the way I did it with the Black Baron. I've done it that way with everybody because I might not have the same preference as a given person, but it doesn't mean that I might not like talking to them about other stuff. Like, I trash the Black Baron constantly, but I also like to talk to him about wrestling because we both have an interest in pro wrestling. And so, I'll bring up old matches and things like that every now and again, in between trash talking him on Twitter on a constant daily basis, of course. I've always kept it friendly. When me and MLD were going back and forth, we would talk on Skype on the back end, and he'd send me a message. He'd say, you got me on that one, but I think I can counter it. And he'd come to me with a counter video. I'd say, okay, that was pretty good, but I can knock it down. And I'd send him another one. It was a friendly competition. And so I went and I made this same email to this individual, and he wrote back, not interested. And I said, well, I've done this and this and this, we can do this and this. And he said, no. He said, I don't have an interest in doing faked debates. He said, I've had other people offer me to get into fake debates, and I don't have any interest in that. And he alluded to the fact that he felt that was somehow immoral to do fake debates. Well, first of all, I never said anything about fake debates. So I wrote him back, who said anything about fake debates? We always tried to beat each other. We always tried to outdo one another and prove each other wrong. We just always agreed not to actually get angry at each other over the crazy, insane shit that we said. To make the video not some boring slogfest of two nerds talking about pieces of plastic. And he wrote back again saying that he wasn't interested, that blah, blah, blah. He takes his love of Xbox very seriously, and etc., etc., etc. Well, this conversation continued over to Twitter because I started getting a weird feeling about it. And so I sent it more to a public forum and started talking to him about it on Twitter too. And he actually had people on his side telling him that he should debate me. Jimmy B Gaming, that X-Bot, who I'm actually friendly with. Hi, Jimmy. Jimmy B Gaming posts a tweet to him saying, "Hey, Crap, you need to do this." Crap still says no. He don't want to do it. He doesn't want any part of it. He's not going to debate. He's not going to do this. He's not going to do that. It's beneath him. He has a higher moral standard and a conscience and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, I still never said fake debate. The word fake never came out of my mouth. I have the whole conversation still stored. I still have all the tweets that you can look at. It never happened. All I said was the animosity is upped for the entertainment factor. That it's a real debate. We just agree to stay friendly on the backside so we can talk gaming and crap. So when he says, no, I don't want any part of that, I have a higher moral standard, blah, 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 blah. I said, well, all right. I said, I tried. I stuck my hand out. I made the effort. If that's the way you want it, that's fine. But all gloves are off. Expect response videos from me. The minute I said that on Twitter, conversation stops. No further responses. 90 minutes after I said that, 90 minutes, he posts a video talking about how a nameless pro-Sony guy tried to talk him into doing fake debates. And it was basically a preemptive damage control of a response video that I hadn't even made yet. I just told him I was going to make response videos to him. So he posts this video trying to discredit me and anybody else on the PlayStation side that asked to debate him, saying that we were all fakes. He then went on to say that we were all wannabe gangsters and wannabe thugs and all this kind of thing, that we try to look like E-tough guys, blah, blah, blah. I would like you to go to this individual's channel and look at his profile pic. He looks like a fatter clone of me, right down to wearing sunglasses indoors. I wear sunglasses indoors because I have a light sensitivity issue and I get migraines real easy. And especially now that I work the third shift, where not all the lights are running anyway, I'm so used to being in a dark room, I can't stand to be in a bright one for more than a few minutes at a time. What's his excuse? But there are other people who saw the conversation that knows that what I did was what instigated this video. And so he's talking about, the PlayStation supporters are wannabe thugs, wannabe E-tough guys, etc., etc. What I really find interesting about that is he's big buddies on YouTube with Zaire. Zaire! And he's talking about wannabe thugs, wannabe gangsters, and he tells me in an email that he really respects and looks up to Zaire. So again, I can't really tell from the tone, because it's hard to pick up shit with tone in text. I can't really tell from the tone if he's really legit serious or if he's trying to troll me through text. So I've decided that I'm gonna go and look more at his videos. And I did that the same way that I do with all these guys, MLD and all those. I start with his oldest video and move up. So I'm looking at his vids, oldest to newest, and when I start out, I'm liking his videos. Because you can look at my the guys I'm sub to, I watch a lot of reviewers. I like watching game reviews. I watch a lot of different guys. And all I'm seeing are multi-plat game reviews. And I'm like, well, this is cool. Obviously he is a gamer that just happens to have a preference like I happen to have a preference. And I'm watching all these reviews and I get to the Last of Us review and he gives The Last of Us, a 4.6 out of 5. And he's talking about, you know, he had some problems with it, he had some problems with the controls, etc., etc. And then he talks about the ending of the game and what have you. And he gives it, he calls it a masterpiece, says it's a great game for PlayStation fans, but not necessarily his cup of tea. But he gives it a 4.6 out of 5. He can admit to the fact that he personally doesn't like it, yet he can review it based on its own merits and not his preference. This is a good thing. And then there was a shift in his entire channel. And it took place right around the time that E3 had their disastrous fuck up of an E3 conference a year ago. Right around when that happened, the whole tone of his channel shifted. All of a sudden, he's posting a lot of news stories about, you know, things that happen with Sony and things that he prefers with Xbox over Sony. And, you know, he had positive Xbox videos before, but it starts to become a lot more about negative Sony shit. Less reviews, more negative Sony shit. And then he posts a video that's talking about how much he hates The Last of Us. And I look back and I'm looking again at his Last of Us review, remembering what I just watched. And here he is, he's talking about all the awful things about The Last of Us, but he's elevating it up a lot higher than it was in the review. And then he comes out and he says that he lied in his Last of Us review, that he hated the game, didn't like anything about it, that he didn't even finish it, that he looked up the ending of the game so that he could talk about the ending in the game to make it look like he finished it to appease Sony fans on his site. And then from that point on, his channel has become almost totally Sony hate. He says the reason for this is because ever since the Xbox One came out, that he feels that there is a legitimate bias in the news media towards Sony and away from Microsoft. Basically, that there's a conspiracy in the gaming news media to shit on Microsoft and prop up Sony. Which you may notice is the same shit that guys like Dr. Trey and the Black Baron are saying about Nintendo now. That everyone's against Nintendo, that it's a conspiracy with the news media and the third-party developers to put Nintendo out of business. That's what they're saying now. But that's for another video. But his channel also had that shift right around the time that Zaire was starting to post bigger numbers with his channel. So all of a sudden, he shifts his entire channel from pure third-party review with occasional videos showing off his Xbox collection to Sony hate, Sony hate, Sony hate, and his subs and views start going up. And that's only natural because it's just him and Zaire and a couple others making pro Xbox videos. So these people that have been abandoned by MLD and all these other guys are going to flock wherever they feel safe in the comments. They stay in his comment section, they don't stray out of it. And they'll attack anyone that posts comments on his videos, but they stay out of responses. Meanwhile, there's been numerous PlayStation guys that have offered to debate with him. He turns all of them down. Even Rated D. Rated D! Turned them all down. Doesn't want to debate with anybody. And what makes it real fun is he's one of those guys that'll take a news story and he'll spin it around into a little eye-opening headline that is misleading about the subject that he's quoting. And he'll put the story link in there. But as an example, and he's not the only one that did this, when that charity went and custom made a PS4 to sell for charity for, you know, for homosexuality and whatnot, and the guy that made it coined it the Gay Station 4. He posts this big news headline, says something to the effect of Sony releasing Gay Station 4, when it had nothing to do with Sony at all. You know, they bought a PS4 from Sony and painted it rainbow and called it Gay Station 4. And he knows this and admits it in the video, but he wanted to get those angry views, those angry comments from PlayStation guys, so he posts the topic of the video as a troll comment to get pissed off fanboys to come in and post. Now he says that he's above the drama, that he doesn't care about all that kind of thing. He's not doing it for views, he's not doing it for this or that. But when you go to his Twitter page and look at his Twitter page, I would recommend that you don't look at some of the Twitter channels that he follows. I'm not going to go any farther than that, but he watches some interesting shit. But if you go to his Twitter page, he's all too happy to admit to the fact that he does this stuff to piss Sony fans off. He is a troll. He admits to it on his Twitter page. But if you watch his videos, you know, he's not trolling, he's dead serious. He has a passion for Xbox and blah, blah, blah. A passion he didn't even show until around 11 months ago when Microsoft bent over and fucked themselves up the ass. And he's talking about these fake PlayStation debaters that he says only got into it when PlayStation in this generation. That when this generation started, that they started making pro PlayStation videos to get subs and views. That they're all closet Xbox fans. And he didn't even start making these videos till 11 and a half months ago. Do you see what I'm getting at here? You have two possible options here. Either he really is a die-hard in the wool Xbox fan, and he got so upset over the negative news about his system of choice that he completely altered the entire content and flow of his channel to devote it to hating Sony. Or he's faked all this to up his channel views and up his subscribers, which he went, if you look at the views on some of his old videos, short of a couple of reviews that got up in the 100,000 range because they were really obscure games that you simply don't see a lot of, which I actually respected, he wasn't getting the kind of views that he is now, and his sub count has shot through the roof from these pro Xbox fans that are subscribing to him and eating everything he says out of the palm of his hand like it's the fucking gospel. It's one of two things. He's either faking this shit and he's trolling PlayStation fans for views and subs, or he really does believe this stuff and he got so upset over his system of choice being run through the mud by everybody on YouTube and everyone in the media that he felt compelled to stand up and become an Xbox White Knight, the second in command to Zaire. Either one is hilarious. And he knows that that's what he's doing. He does it intentionally to piss off Sony fans. Now, I'm a troll. I openly admit, and have for the last 5 years, 5 years this past July, that I'm a troll, that I'm a PlayStation fan, that I take a lot of enjoyment out of pissing off Xbox fanboys, and that I'll post reviews, and I love to do retro gaming reviews and current stuff, but that I also take great joy in pissing off Xbox fans. But nothing pisses somebody off more than the truth. And that's where the difference lies. You know, if I say that Don Matrick's mind got owned by Sony, and then I go into details about things that have happened, and I come out and I say, I'm willing to bet, and this is before E3 of 2013, I'm willing to bet that Microsoft is lying about the Kinect being mandatory, and that when this system starts failing, they're going to come out with a Kinectless Xbox to match PlayStation's price. I said that, and it happened. Because I knew it was going to happen. I don't take a news story and twist it and spin it around, because I'm not, for one thing, I'm not a news for view whore. Those stories are out there for you to find, just like me. If you want to read the particulars of it, then go and get your lazy ass on Google and look it up yourself. Me, I'm talking about my opinion of that story. I'm not going to spin it around and make it into something that it's not, because the truth of it is too funny for me to waste my time with that. I said all that to say this. I am aware of his existence. I know he's out there. I've seen his stuff. I've seen how he does it, and I know why he does it. And I'm going to be watching what he does in the future. And if he pulls this spin shit, of course, I'm gonna call him out on it, whether he wants to respond to me or not. I will be nice. I'll be nice and not name any names, just like I did in this video, because this has become a community of pussies where no one wants to get their feelings hurt, and anytime someone names anyone else by name, there's a good chance that you're gonna get false flagged. We'll just call him the shit kicker for right now. So if I say the shit kicker made a video, you'll know who I'm talking about. That way, no one's feelings are gonna get hurt. No one's gonna say, he made fun of me. I'm gonna hit this flag button 1,000 times and get all my friends to do it. Flag, 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 flag. I'm not gonna get into that shit. You know, people used to not care. I used to have response videos made about me all the time. I loved it. I loved getting response videos because that gave me more cannon fodder. And that got my name out there. That's how I got known, was people getting angry at me and sending me back response videos. And that's what kept this community lively and interactive and fun, because we all became personalities, like wrestling people. And you had people that had your fan followers, and you had people that followed you because they hated you because you were their heel. You know, you were their who's a good heel nowadays? You were their Brock Lesnar. You were the guy that just pissed them off, and you loved to watch them, but at the same time you hated them. That's what it was all about. But now you got guys that are not only flagging people's videos, but they're calling their jobs saying, this guy's saying mean things about me on the internet. Calling their bosses saying this shit. Really? You don't have any more of a pair between your legs that you're going to get upset about what someone says about you on the internet? Or used 30 seconds of a clip in your video? You know what, guys? I don't give a flying fuck. You can take any clip of me on one of my vids and do something with it. To this day, there's a President video floating out there on the internet that's called The Seventh Level is Homo for President. And it's that Sony fanboy guy that tried to knock a bunch of our channels out a few years ago, trying to imply that I have some kind of gay crush on him or some shit. I never tried to have that video taken down because I don't give a fuck. It's pathetic. It's sad and it's pathetic. If you can set down guidelines that say, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do this, now let's go for blood and have some fun. What's wrong with that? Do what thou wilt. That is the whole of Seventh's law. What's wrong with that? Are your feelings really that sensitive? Do you really have such self-esteem problem that someone calling you a cock knocker is going to elicit you to force the flag? Or if somebody proves you wrong in a debate video, are you really so sensitive about being proven wrong that you're going to hit the flag button? Did mommy never breastfeed you? Do you just have almost borderline PTSD every time someone proves you wrong in a debate or calls you a piece of shit or does whatever? Does what other men say about you on the internet crush your feelings that bad? Let me tell you right now, anybody out there that wants to make a video on me, you hit me up on Twitter and we'll come to an arrangement. You could say this, you could say that, you could say the other. Don't talk about my family, don't talk about personal life, and I'll show you the same courtesy. Everything else, all gloves are off. Say what you want. Call me any name in the book. Debate me over any topic that I've discussed. If you can prove me wrong, do it. You'll never get a video flagged by me. You will never be blocked by me. You will never have your comments deleted by me. You will be promoted by me as someone who had the balls to stand up and debate with me, as long as we agreed to keep things friendly on the back end. Show your ass on camera. Let's be friends behind the scenes. That's the way I've always done it. This guy, not only did he post a preemptive damage control video on me before I'd even made a video on him, He blocked me on Twitter already. Maybe because Zaire told him, oh, don't fuck with Seventh, he's a psychopath. Meanwhile, if there's any of you Xbox supporters out there whose balls have actually descended, who wants to have a debate with me, who can deal with having insults thrown at you, or being called names, or any of the other fun stuff that we do on here, without taking it to heart, if you can deal with being proven wrong, and not take that to heart, and still have a friendly discussion with me behind the scenes, be able to separate what you do on camera from what goes on off camera, if you can do that and you don't have a problem with it, send me your videos. Send me things that you want to debate with me about. Watch my videos. I told him to watch my Xbox One review. I said, if that ain't going to give you fodder, nothing will. Watch that. You ought to be able to get plenty of stuff to debate me with off of that. Watch that video. Bring me responses. It's out of date now. Some of the stuff that I said in it is no longer accurate, like the Gears of War thing. You know, Microsoft bought the Gears of War license. Debate me. I'm right here. I'm not going to flag your videos. I'm not going to delete your comments. I'm not going to block you. I will make you a response video. I don't care if you have 1,000 subs or 5 subs. I'll get you subs. Believe me. If you could debate me, if you could keep up with me, you will get subs. Trust me on that. There's a number of guys in this community that people only know their name because I said it on camera. And I'm not some big super duper YouTuber. I don't have 1 million subscribers. But in this community, if I debate somebody, people remember them. That's why people still remember who Fury Doughboy is. Even though he hasn't regularly posted videos in forever. It's because I was the first one to ever make a response video to him. I will do that for anybody. Anything to make this community more interesting. Anything to get new personalities in this community. I'll do it. I will promote you. I will debate you. I will probably destroy you, but you will get more subs and you will get more views and the community will have new stuff to talk about. Don't be a fucking pussy. Grab a hold of them and turn your camera on. Let's have some fun. This is Seventh.
Where's my video, please?